Unincorporated or their management.
Couldn't seem to fall asleep.
Oh, yes. All right, everybody. I tell you, we're excited today. Another day, another dime, another dollar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sea Island Morning Show. We are super duper excited to be here with you today. Today, our topic is Let It Go. Yes. What we are discussing today is, I mentioned before about how we talk to so many people that are just broken. We come across so many hateful folks, so many folks that's just mean for no reason. And a lot of that has to do with them not letting go those issues, those situations, letting it go in order to live a more healthier, prosperous life. So today, everyone, this is what I want you to do. We're going to talk about that after the commercial. So I want to give you an opportunity to do a couple of things. Number one, I need you to call that nasty neighbor, that sister that really get on your nerves. I need you to call that person that's holding on to all of that venom, the person that you're not even half talking to. Text them and say, turn to 1450 AM, WOL, where information is power, because Sea Island got something to talk about today. He's talking about letting it go. So that's what we're going to discuss today. Also, we're going to open up our phone lines for our new thing that we're doing is What My Pastor Preached On. I want to hear from you this morning. Give me a call at 1-800-450-7876. We like to start off the show with what did your pastor preached about? 1-800-450-7876. I want to hear a good word this morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Seattle.
All right, so talk to me now. I know, Andre, you're excited about what happened with the Super Bowl. So while we waiting for what my pastor preached about, I want y'all to call me now. Andre, talk to me this morning. Yes. I know you super excited about your Seahawks.
Yes, I mean, all right, I'm definitely not a Seahawk fan, but I'm going to tell you something. I was really excited about the game simply because of the fact that this was a historical moment. This was the second black quarterback in the history of the game to win the big one. That's exciting. And then not only that, this happened actually on the eve of when the first black quarterback did it. And if that's not even ironic enough, they both did it against the same team, the Denver Broncos. So it's like, this was a really exciting weekend for me. I mean, honestly speaking, after halftime, I kind of just started celebrating because there was nothing else to watch after the halftime show. It was like, okay, Peyton Manning's just not going to get it together. They're not even going to make it a contest. So
okay, wait a minute. Okay, so now what was your take on halftime? Because I really enjoyed. First of all,
Bruno
Mars. when I heard the name Bruno Mars, I just knew that he wasn't African American.
Right. Well,
and then the Red Hot Chili Peppers and all of that. So once they said that they were going to come on for halftime, I said, well, let me get ready to get up and refresh my food and my appetizers and all of that. And when he came out, he did an awesome job. I mean, from beginning to end. And I found myself, Alonzo, doing like this. I was lying on the bed. I just found myself just rocking to it. It was great.
For the people out there listening, he's bobbing his head. He said, I saw
you ain't had to do all like that. There you go. You trying to get me started this morning. I'm in the spirit this morning. Leave me alone on Roach.
Well, listen, the thing is, Bruno Mars, he started out on a song with Lil Wayne a while ago called Mirrors. And that's the first time I've ever heard of him. And ever since then, he's just been blowing up. So I'm really proud of his performance as well, especially with the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which is one of my most favorite rock bands of all time.
Are you serious?
They're one of my favorite rock bands. They have some of the most prolific music out there as far as rock is concerned. Some of the most best crossovers.
Off anyway.
But
go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Cube's favorite group too, because they're from Los Angeles. So it was just really cool. But yeah, I mean, the game was awesome. It was really kind of boring at the halftime as far as I'm concerned, because it was like the Broncos just laid down. They decided they wasn't gonna fight no more. So I just kind of.
But just to see their faces, oh my God, they look so sad on the field. Oh my God, they just look so sad.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
How you get blown out in a Super Bowl though? I mean, you're supposed to at least score 3 points or something. I mean,
But you know, the Seahawks was just really on fire
from the opening bell.
from the opening whistle.
Yeah, it's just like they just hit them straight in the mouth and just
My
kept pounding.
God.
Yeah. I mean,
And-
as soon as the
And it
ball
was
went over Peyton
and it was
Manning's
like
head-
as soon as when the Broncos got the ball, 2 Seahawks came, not just one to tackle.
Right.
It was like one came from the left, one came from the right, and just sandwiched the guy. I said, "Oh my God, can I get another chicken wing, please?"
I'm gonna tell you, as soon as that ball went over Peyton Manning's head, I knew the game was over. Even from then,
I'm telling you, for those of you who just tuning in, this is C. Allen here in the morning, on the morning show. We're so excited today to talk to you. Today we're talking about letting it go. We're going to be discussing that after the commercial break, letting it go. We're giving you an opportunity for those of you. It's a shame that none of you haven't called yet. That means you can't remember what the pastor preached about on yesterday. 1-800-450-7876. 1-800-450-7876. Okay, so Trendy, talk to us about your weekend. What happened before I get to mine? So, Andre, so you did the game and all of that. So,
True.
anything else happened for you this weekend?
I went to church, y'all.
Oh,
What
okay.
did your pastor
I was about to
preach
say.
about?
So let's start with you then. What did your pastor preach about?
Well, my
Pastor.
pastor basically was talking about just giving an understanding of what God means in your life, putting Him first, before everything, including yourself. And that was really deep for me because I got a real good understanding, of where I am, my positioning in life. A lot of times we can't get ahead is what he said, is because we have the cart before the horse. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. The first thing we're supposed to do is seek God, and then once we seek God and all His righteousness, He'll add everything else to us. So that was basically the word of the pastor from my pastor this Sunday.
Okay, all
at
right, very-
Suitland Road Church in Christ.
Suitland Road Church of Christ. Okay,
sir.
all right. So before we get to Linda, let's go to Rashawn on line 1 because I have to tell because I got an awesome story for Sunday too. Okay, Rashawn, this is my executive assistant. Thank you for calling in. I don't know what's going on with the. Well, first of all, most of my listeners. Not most of them. Half of them are seniors. And y'all know y'all need to write that down because y'all not going to remember what did your pastor preach about. That's why I'm talking about you because you haven't called me. 1-800-450-7876. Rashawn, talk to us this morning. Tell us your church, your pastor, and what did pastor preach about.
Well, everyone knows that I go to the most awesome church in D.C., which is the Canaan Baptist Church.
I'm not going to say all that.
16th and Newton Street, where the Reverend Larry Owens Jr. is my pastor, but I didn't serve with them yesterday. I went down to the Washington Plaza Hotel to serve with the National Beauty Cultures League.
Okay.
And they had Reverend Dr. Bowens from California come bring a message in regards to faith and increasing your faith. And the basis was that in order to increase your faith, you have to study the Word of God.
Okay. All right. Very good. And that's what your pastor preached about. All right. Thank you so much, Rashawn. Okay. So now talk to me, Linda. Did you go to church yesterday?
Unfortunately, no. I was at Bedside Baptist yesterday.
Oh, she was at Bedside Baptist, which apparently most of the rest of the listening audience,
Most of the rest of them,
the listening audience is no one
they
called.
joined me. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just tell you this. I am just super duper excited because on yesterday, I have been following Andre on the social media. Pastor John Wesley from Alfred Street Baptist Church. I think it's Howard John Wesley, something like that. But Pastor Wesley from Howard Street Baptist Church. And when I tell you, on yesterday, he was at the Howard University Andrew Rankin Chapel, which now they have service at the Crampton Auditorium. When I tell you that the pastor of Alfred Street Baptist Church was dynamite. Oh my God. First of all, his topic was live with it. And, you know, I got kind of conflicted, Linda, because, you know, the Lord had already told me this week to talk about let it go.
Yeah.
And I go to church and he told me some live with it. But when I tell you the way he broke that thing down, he was really, really good. The thing that I admired the most was he's a young preacher, like in his early 40s. And once he came from New England, they said, to Alexandria, his membership has grown. He has pastor membership of over 4,000 has now joined the Alfred Street Baptist Church. And I've been hearing a lot about Alfred Street because I have a lot of friends that attend Alfred Street, and a lot of my Howard alum brothers and sisters attend Alfred Street, and a lot of professional folks go to Alfred Street. And I was wondering, what in the world is going on with this Alfred Street Baptist Church that you hear a lot about? It kind of reminded me of when I first came home from Atlanta, going to Greater Mount Calvary. Everybody had talked about Metropolitan. So it's kind of almost like the same thing where you have a professional group of people go to worship. And Alfred Street Baptist Church was in a house on yesterday. I know they had at least 500-600 people that was there, along with the students and us that came out. And when I just tell you that I'm definitely going to visit his church, he was dynamite. I mean, he was dynamite. I mean, fantastic. And his topic was live with it. Pastor John Wesley from the Alfred Street Baptist Church, he was awesome. And so then, you know, so I enjoyed that. And listen, I went down to get some crabs because the weather was so beautiful, and it tricked me because I said today's a great day to go get some crabs. I went down to get crabs, and something told me to stay where I always go. But I said, let me try a new stand at the wharf. And I went down to another area. First of all, the guy had an attitude. And he said there was a sign up there, Alonzo, that said guaranteed no sand. When I tell you it was so much sand in my crabs, I thought I was at the beach.
Oh,
Wait
no.
a minute.
You hear what I say? Only thing I needed was my trunks.
Wait a minute.
Yes. Then on top of that, he told me the price was outrageous, but I said, well, you know, the crab's not in season. He said it's no sand, so this must be premium crabs. Okay. So I paid close to $100, and it wasn't even a half a bag of crabs. I had an attitude, and I said, you know what I said, and I posted on Facebook. I said, Lord, can the devil give you a moment? I just had a wonderful service, and then I had to go off on the man in the wharf.
So you didn't let it go, see, Allen? You didn't let it go.
I didn't let it go.
No, he let it go.
I
all
lived
right.
with it, and then I dealt with
He
it.
let it go, all right. He let it go.
Yeah.
He dealt with it.
I said, what in the world? And I said to him, I caught myself, and I said in that chat, you just got out of church.
Just got out.
He had to let it
And then
go.
you
He
go
couldn't hold
going
that
back
in.
and forth with the man. The man gonna talk about something at the war. Look, man, you want these crabs or not? I wanted. Okay, we got to go. I can tell you what I really wanted to say to him. All right, we give you an opportunity. When we come back, we want you to start calling now, 1-800-450-7876. I want to hear what your pastor preached about. Other than that, we're going to go directly into how to let it go. This is 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. We'll be right back after these messages.
Everything will be alright.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by Food Lion. On 295 northbound, the large pothole right side of the roadway, northbound 295 at East Capitol Street. Very, very slow, stay to the left. Baltimore-Washington Parkway southbound near 202. It was the accident with only the right shoulder now getting by. So very, very heavy and slow through there right now with only the right shoulder getting by. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. The fact is, you'll find one right here. Contact your local State Farm agent today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by Food Lion. For today, rain with a mix of snow and sleet possible, ending by the afternoon. Temperatures dropping into the 30s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy day and a high near 36. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
They say America is the land of opportunity. where kids can grow up and become anything they want.
But for some of us, it's not so easy.
Today, 1 out of every 6 children in America lives in poverty.
That's almost 13 million of us.
That's almost 13 million of us.
Living below the poverty line.
The poverty line divides us all into those who have
and those who never have enough. Not enough food or medicine.
Or even a place to live. When you live in poverty, every day is hard.
But we don't want a handout. We want a way out.
A way out of poverty for me and my family.
For good.
This is America.
This is America. Together, we can do so much. Will you help?
Nearly 13 million children in America below the poverty line. You can make a difference in more ways than you know. Go to povertyusa.org and get involved. A message from the Catholic Campaign for Human Development.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
All right, everyone, we're back here live here. It's the C. Allen Morning Show. We have Trendy, Lindy, and Andre in the house. We're just super duper excited to be here. Let's go straight to the phone line to our beauty in a moment with Rashida.
Good morning, Mr. Bennett.
Good morning.
Good morning, Trendy, Lindy, and Andre.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
Absolutely. Good morning, listeners. This is licensed cosmetologist and makeup artist Rashida Franklin, and this is your Beauty in a Minute. Now, ladies, today I'm talking about lips. We all want to make sure our lips are popping. So here are a few tips for kissable lips. Ladies, think of your lips as a sponge. When exposed to moisture, they absorb water and plump up. When dehydrated, they dry out and shrink. Since our lips are always exposed, they're prone to dehydration, particularly during the cold, windy winter months. The skin on the lips are unlike anywhere else on the body. It's thinner and has no oil glands. So here are a few tips for beautiful lips. Drink plenty of water. Water will keep the body, skin, and lips hydrated. Stop licking your lips. Licking your lips damage the protective barrier and can dry out the lips. Instead, regularly apply lip balm. Look for hydrating lip balms that contain beeswax, shea butter, vitamin E, or coconut oil. Exfoliate the lips when necessary. Lip exfoliators fluff off dead skin for a smoother appearance. If your lips tend to be drier, ladies, stay away from matte lipsticks. They are extremely drying and do nothing to hydrate your skin. We want our lips and our lip gloss to be popping. Follow these simple tips to ensure kissable lips. This is licensed cosmetologist and makeup artist Rashida Franklin, and that was your Beauty in a Minute.
All right, Rashida, let me just say this, and I'm hoping that Dana may be listening so she can call in today, but I did get a report that we gave out some free gift cards on last week, and Dana was one of our listeners who won the free gift card for the makeover services, and they tell me that she left the salon absolutely beautiful. And one of the things that I think our listeners need to understand is a lot of times, Ms. Franklin, they think that, you know, there's always a gimmick to stuff when we're doing stuff for free. And they haven't understood yet and received the fact that most of the times what we're doing is this. The purpose of this morning show is our community effort from the Bennett Career Institute and the Sea Island Salons and Spas to give back to people. She came in and you did not charge her 1 cent for that facial because she won, for that makeover because she won the gift card. Listeners, when we tell you to call in for the gift card, you need to take advantage of that. One of the things that I appreciate about Rashida, our beauty moment in a minute, is the fact that she has a certification from the makeup school out in Los Angeles. She's also degreed from Delaware State, and she did a lot of intense training at the Bennett Career Institute. So when you get a gift card to go out there and get free makeover services from her, you're getting a treat. So Dana, listening to me, Dana, I want you to call in and let our listeners know about your experience with Rashida at the C. Allen Signature Salon. So let me just ask this question, Rashida. I know that that Valentine's Day is coming up. What kind of specials are you doing for Valentine's Day? And then what I want you to do is, let's go ahead and give out your business line number opposed to just the salon number, since you only in the salon a certain days a week. Let's give them your cell phone. But talk to us about the specials you have, and then and why don't we say something like, because I like to see beautiful women. After you give your specials, I'm going to allow the first 4 callers to get that $25 gift card to come and see you. Only 4. The first 4 callers that call your cell phone. So go get your pen and paper ready. You know, everybody, Rashida is also a school teacher. She's a school teacher, and she works with kids throughout the day, and then she come into the salon in the evening, and then sometimes she come during the day. So she has like a flexible schedule, but she's also a professional woman, and she know what professional women like. So give us your specials, and then give that number out. The first 4 callers. Now I'm telling you now, Ms. Franklin, you go past 4 people, now you're gonna have a problem.
Well,
I'm not paying past 4 people, Ms. Franklin. All of our listeners who are listening, you better get ready to write her number down. The first 4 people she's a licensed cosmetologist, and she is an outstanding award-winning makeup artist. So, and some of you who may be doing brides soon, some of you who may be getting married, some of you may be going somewhere soon, you need to take the gift card, sit in her chair, let her make you beautiful, and then when the event come up, you already know who to go to.
Absolutely.
Now, y'all gonna listen to me one day. Go ahead, Frank. We call her Frank, everybody. Go ahead, Frank. Frank is short for Franklin. Go ahead, Frank.
That's right, absolutely. Well, for Valentine's Day, starting this week all the way through February 15th, we are doing Pamper Your Partner. And we have his and her specials. We have facials, full face makeovers, including lashes, and a hairstyle for a certain amount. It comes with the hydration station to make sure that your hair is properly moisturized to take you through the winter season. Champagne will be provided, gift bags will be provided, and we're just going to have a spectacular time for the next 2 weeks in regards to pampering yourself or pampering your partner. You're absolutely welcome to come in and get Valentine gift cards if you choose to do so, or you can take advantage of the package services. And for him, I believe that we have our barbers there that will be doing haircuts, and I will also be doing facials on the guys as well.
Okay, that's very good. Now, this is what we want you to do, everybody, because even if not for yourself, for someone that you want to be a blessing to, this is a perfect Valentine's Day present to give to someone, and that is a $25 gift card to the C. Allen Signature Salon. What many people do not know, Ms. Franklin, is that on Thursday you do seniors, and we call it I believe we said $20 or $25 or something. Seniors can get whatever they want, but they have to come in. They have to come in and see you for that. But I think that it's a great opportunity for somebody to get a. People always say, "What do I get my friend for Valentine's Day?" And this not just a woman, but a man. You know, we do men coloring service. Henri talked about that last week. We do facials, men and women. We do brows. We do lashes. All of those kind of things. We do everything but nails. We're not doing nails. When I got the salon, I took those manicure and pedicure stuff out of there because I can't stand that smell. So we don't do nails. But other than that, we'll be able to pamper you really good. Now, listen, listeners, and don't go crazy. The first 4 callers who called Miss Rashida Franklin on her private line, you will get a $25 gift card from me. Now, let me just say something. Listen to this, everybody. Ms. Frank, I know you're busy, but let me just say this. It's funny how we gave out a $25 gift card year before last for Christmas, and somebody walked in the MLK location with that $25 gift card. No, ma'am, sweetie. No, ma'am. The gift cards, let me make my disclaimer now. The gift cards from the Sea Island Morning Show is only good for 30 days. Once the 30-day period from the time of activation, that card will then be voided. Listen, everybody, you have 30 days to use your, like for an example, 4 people won last week. Andre only got in touch with one person, and I believe that was Dana. The other people we left messages for. Sweetie, you show it. We're not going to keep calling you back and forward to give you something for free. When we have so many people out here that their hairs all tore up, we can walk down the street and see Alan. And I do this, Alonzo. I walk down the street, and sometimes I see somebody had tore up. I go in my pocket, give them a $25 gift card, and tell them go into Sea Island Signature Salon and let them take care of you. Especially when Ms. Franklin do her early bird specials on Saturday, where all the services are $25 anyway. So they come in for free services. So we're not going to beg anybody. You calling, you excited, you win, and then you're going to try to come a year and a half later? The devil is a liar and a deceiver too. Oh, okay. I'm back. All right, Frank, go ahead and give them your number.
Absolutely. So callers, the first 4 people, I can be reached at 301-792-5697. Again, that's 301-792-5697.
Okay, so now before you go, Frank, what did your pastor preach about yesterday?
Oh, Lord, well, I attend the Covenant Baptist United Church of Christ on South Capitol Street, and I have co-pastors Dr. Dennis and Christine Wiley, and the pastors preached about living life and living it abundantly. All
right. That's a good one.
Remove people out of your life that don't belong.
Yeah.
Stop letting fear get in your way of what your dreams and aspirations are for. That you are here and that he wants the best for you. And that you should be living the abundant life.
All right, very good. That's what my pastor preached about. All right, thank you so much, Ms. Franklin. The first 4 callers, 301-792-5697. Again, that's 301-792-301. I have to look at my phone when I think about 301. Yes, 792-5697. For those of you who are interested in either a makeover service or a hair service. If Dana is listening, who came out to the Signature Salon, we're about to take a commercial break. I want you to call us, Dana, so you can give us your feedback. Also, everyone, I told you that I went to Howard University. I am a graduate from Morehouse and as well as Howard University from their master's degree program. The pastor of the Alfred Street Baptist Church is Howard John Wesley. He's the senior pastor of Alfred Street Baptist Church, 301 South Alfred Street in Alexandria, Virginia. When I tell you, I had an absolute superb time. All right, this commercial time. When we come back, everybody, we're going to go directly into Andre is going to do our Black History in a moment, and then we're going to go into our topic. This is Andre, Trendy Lindy, and C. Allen. We'll be back after these messages.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning, I'm Wesley, and now here's the news from News1.com, brought to you in part by Food Lion. Use your MVP card to enter Food Lion's Ultimate Tailgate Sweepstakes, and you could win a brand new 2014 GMC Sierra truck. Moments of silence observed in the ceremony Saturday night mark 1 week after the Columbia Mall shooting. Howard County Executive Ken Ullman says even though it was a tragic and terrible time for the victims and their families, there was also a lot of bravery that day.
I saw an outpouring of love and compassion by so many people who just grabbed people they never even met before and grabbed their kids and huddled in back rooms of stores.
Ullman also said he's pleased with how well the responders who were on the scene within 2 minutes used their training. Maryland health officials are warning about a deadly drug combination.
A batch of heroin tainted with the powerful synthetic opioid fentanyl is blamed for at least 37 deaths in Maryland since last September. The CDC describes fentanyl as 80 times more powerful than morphine and hundreds of times more potent than heroin. In addition to Maryland, fentanyl-related deaths have been reported in Washington State, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and along the I-95 corridor.
That's Rick Hoschel reporting. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell gave his annual State of the League address Friday, and in it he touched on the Redskins name controversy.
Let me remind you, this is the name of a football team that's had that name for 80 years and has presented the name in a way that is honored Native Americans.
Goodell says the league is sensitive to the opposition view in using the nickname Redskins, but he contends that a majority accept it as a respect for heritage. This WL newscast is brought to you in part by State Farm. Call 1-800-STATE-FARM or go to statefarm.com. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. The fact is, you'll find one right here. Contact your local State Farm agent today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to news1.com. I'm Wesley for 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Let go and let God. Let go.
All right, everyone, we're back here live here. Today we're talking about letting it go. Before we get into that, Andre, talk to us about, and then this month is February. This is the first Monday in February, and we're doing every Monday. Andre is going to be honoring someone in Black history. Talk to us, Andre.
Okay, good morning, everybody out there listening to the Sea Island Morning Show. We're very thankful to have you all tuning in. Excuse me. On this day, we want to honor Eric Holder. I know some of you may not understand or know who that is, but Eric Holder in 2009 became the first African American to be named Attorney General of the United States. All right, so I mean, he's worth honoring because of the fact that that's a major accomplishment in the history of the United States, and it happened on this day in 2009. And also, one other, as a side note, something I want people to also think about is that the Negro Baseball League, the Professional Negro Baseball League, is celebrating the 86th anniversary on this day. So that's another, So that's another beautiful accomplishment for us. So just wanted to touch out to you all on this particular Monday in Black History Month, and tell you some stuff that you might not have known.
Okay, very good. Also, everyone, this week, the tickets are going to go on sale this Friday for the big reunion hair battle at the University of the District of Columbia here in Washington, D.C. The Bennett Career Institute we celebrate our anniversary in March. It so happened that the show is going to be on my late father's birthday. We may do a tribute to him. That day. Rashawn Broadnex is our show producer this year. We usually use Yarday, but Rashawn Broadnex is our show producer, and Latoya Lyles is our show manager. So we're very excited. Those two are graduates of the Bennett Career Institute, and we have about 10 to 12 graduate, either salons or graduates, and or current students. Alonzo, that is going to rock the house. They're battling really hard for the $3,000. It's $3,000, $1,500, and $750. And then we have a $500 winner for winner takes all of our fantasy competition. So that's going to be off the chain. Last year we had Derek J from Housewives of Atlanta to host the fantasy competition. We'll be announcing next week who's going to host it this year. We're super duper excited. The ticket's only $25. You can come to Bennett Career Institute Finance Office, or you can be able to. Sometimes we're going to give you tickets on the air. We're going to give away tickets here on the air, as well as, and the tickets that we give away here are the VIP tickets. Those are $40, which means that you get to eat. You get to have, it's usually, we have champagne in VIP.
Is it going to be more than one chicken wing this year?
Well, it's not about just more than one chicken wing, Andre. It's just that they gave you two because they looked at you and realized that you didn't need more than two.
Wait a minute. I only got one chicken wing. Trendy Lindy was there, and Trendy Lindy saw
But
how
they gave you
I
that
was
one
treated.
chicken wing because that's probably what you needed was that one chicken wing.
What about them grapes though? I only got 2 of them.
All right, everyone. So what's going to happen is the tickets are going to go on sale. You need to make sure that you follow us. You need to follow me on Twitter, which is the C Allen Morning on Twitter, the TheCalan Morning on Twitter. On Facebook and Instagram is Chet CHET Beauty King Bennett. So you want to make sure that you follow me. If you have any questions about the show or you have show ideas, then you email us on the TheCalan Morning Show at gmail.com. The C Allen Morning Show at gmail.com. If you wanted to send us comments or you want us to a particular topic that you want us to talk about. But I just said this to say we move forward, that the reunion show is going to be absolutely awesome. Last year we had so many of our listeners to come out and really enjoy. They said it was their first hair show. They were super duper excited. We have celebrity guests that's there, celebrity judges, and we just have a lot of fun. Tickets are $25 and the VIP are $40. Now remember, last year we sold out of VIP very, very quickly because in that area where UDC is, there's not a lot of food places, and in VIP, you can eat whatever you want besides Henry and his one chicken wing. And you get the champagne, and then during the intermission, we bring dessert in the VIP area for all of those who are VIP ticket holder. The VIP tickets are $40. The regular tickets are $25. Those tickets go on sale this Friday on the BennettCareerInstitute.org or the CAllenMorningShow.com. Remember, we do have a website where you can go and listen to past shows and things of that nature. But one more thing before we get started, I wanted to send a shout out to Dr. Leslie Bonner, who owns Bonner Dental Network on 17th Street. Very close friend of mine. I picked him up and we went over to Robert Person. Robert Person has Stellar Award nominee and has several albums out. We played some of his music last week, but his father passed, and we surprised his mother, Miss Ruby Person, on last week, and we went over there, and I tell you, I said, Lord, I feel so ashamed, Alonzo. I said, that's a shame you go to folks' house after the funeral because there was so many cakes and pies up there. She was in the kitchen. She had took a chicken. I guess somebody baked a chicken, and she was making a chicken salad. So of course I talked because this is Seattle chicken salad. So I talked and I did it on purpose. I talked until the chicken salad was finished, until she finished chopping it up.
I know that.
And she had grapes and apples and all that. Oh my gracious! I know we got to get busy, but when I just tell you that it's nothing like being a blessing, visiting folks. To show them how much we appreciate them, in their time of need. And the chocolate cake I had, I've never tasted cake like that. That's why today, everyone, I'm starting something.
Wasn't cake, that was love.
I'm starting something new. I'm not doing any carbs. I'm going to do that all the way until the reunion show. The reunion show, there's a lady at Cake Plus in Laurel, makes some of the best cakes. Samantha Herring's best friend. So I'm going to wait until the reunion show to have my cake. So from now until March 30th, I'm going to try my very best not to eat any carbs, any sweets, none of those things.
So can I have your Stone Cold?
So y'all need to pray my strength.
Your Cold Stone
in the Lord. All right, everybody. Now today we're talking about, let's see that Henri. See, then this is the reason why Richard, all of you all get, and what's our other listener?
Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone. This is the reason why you all say to me, Mr. Bennett, why you get on Henri. Now, you see, we're trying to be serious, and he playing, and he want to eat, and he want to laugh. The whole time Rashida was doing her beauty in the moment, he and all that off of plump lips and all of that. He's full of the devil, and he need Jesus, and he need to have several seats.
I just want to hold that Cold Stone Creamery card while you on your no carb day.
First of all, he's sitting. Oh, he almost
Don't
really.
do it.
He
Don't
almost
do it.
really went there. He really almost made me go there. All right, let's get busy, everybody. I was about to say he's sitting over there with 500 pounds on his body talking about a Cold Stone Cold.
What you mean? You was finna say? You was about to say that. You just said it.
You almost let it go, too, C. Allen. I was almost proud of you. You almost
He
did
almost let it
He
go.
almost let it go.
Can't let it go.
I was almost proud.
Everybody's got a past. The past does not equal the future unless you live there. Tony Robbins. I wanted to start off today by letting us know that we have to stop living in the past. Our topic today, ladies and gentlemen, is let it go. I realize that now that I'm working more with the public and students and listeners calling and people asking for advice, I'm realizing that part of our problem is we can't shake a lot of negativity. We're going through a lot of situations where we just will not, the negative piece continues to reoccur in our minds over and over and over again. And C. Allen and the team, we're here today to tell you that you must let it go. I came across some people that have so much anger built up in them that once they begin to talk to me, tears start to flow down their face. This is why we know that when we bump up against someone on accident, they're ready to chop our head off because they have so much anger built up and they're not talking to anyone. Part of the problem is they're not talking.
That's right.
Communication is the first step to letting it go. You have to verbalize. You have to understand that there's a problem. You must verbalize the problem, and then you must seek some solutions. Oftentimes when we get on our loved ones and sisters and brothers, we know that they're full of hate and anger because of something happened to mama before she passed, or daddy before he passed, or sister or brother, and we start to harden our hearts. And one of the things that we're not understanding is we cannot live a flea-free life if we aren't able to forgive ourselves and let it go.
That's right. And forgive others. And sometimes it's easier said than done, but it's very, very necessary if we're going to have life. A lot of us are walking around, we're just merely existing. We're not really living life. So it's really, really...
But you know what I think, though, Trinity? First of all, a lot of us, we have a hard time letting things go when people hurt us.
Yes, we do.
We have a hard time letting things go when I know people, and some of you listen to me right now, you are a senior and you go to church and you don't even talk to the lady on the next row because of something that she said to you 5 years ago, and you don't speak. That's ridiculous. In order for you to live, I'm going to say it again, in order for you to live a flea-free life, you have to learn to let it go. We have people even in our organization who don't even speak to each other. That's ridiculous.
That's awful.
As a team, as a family, some of you listening to me don't even talk to your coworker. Today is the day that you have to let it go. On lunchtime, go by her desk and say good morning or good afternoon. That's a nice outfit you have on, and keep walking, but you got to let it go. Oftentimes what I realize is we can never reach our full potential. We're going to dig into this today. We got to go to commercial, but we can't reach our full potential because we're still harboring stuff that happened to us 10 and 15 years ago. We have to learn to let it go. So all of you who are not speaking to your sister, all of you who haven't spoke to your brother in a while, all of you who are upset with nieces and nephews and co-workers and mothers and fathers, today is the day that you have to break that chain and you have to let it go. This is C. Allen in the morning. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about what happens once you let it go. 1450 AM WOL, where information is power. We'll be back after these messages.
News Talk 1450 WOL and WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by Food Lion. Northbound on 295 after Pennsylvania Avenue before East Capitol Street, it was a large pothole reported on the right side of the roadway with some potential damage to your vehicle with delays from the 11th Street Bridge, Baltimore-Washington Parkway, southbound. The accident is after the Beltway near 410. It was only the shoulder getting by for a while. Now it's completely moved over to the shoulder, so everything's open, but it's still slow. Use your MVP card to enter Food Lion's Ultimate Tailgate Sweepstakes. You can win a brand new 2014 GMC Sierra truck. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by State Farm. For today, rain with a mix of snow and sleet before ending this afternoon. Temperatures falling into the 30s. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high near 36. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. The fact is, you'll find one right here. Contact your local State Farm agent today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Steve Hirshhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
You wanna go? All of you who wanna go to college, wanna go? You best listen to this knowledge. Listen. You gotta be a go-getter, cause it's hard to get there. Get up in their face, get up in their space. Excuse me, missus. You say you're my teacher, you say you're my preacher. Excuse me, mister. You act like you're large and you say you in charge. So show me, what is it that I need? So tell me, the books I should read. Somebody hit me with the 411. There are steps to take, there's a job to be done. I want step 1, step 2, step 3 spelled out. All the info is what I'm about. So ask for help and do not stop. knowhowtogo.org, let's ride.
That was Farnsworth Bentley with Wanna Go. For more college info, visit knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Laughing, but I'm serious. All right, everybody, we're back here live. I'm serious.
Yeah, he's serious, y'all.
All right, everybody, today we're talking about letting it go. And before we went to break, I mentioned what Tony Robbins said. Everybody's got a past. The past does not equal the future unless you live there. And that is so important because so many people, Trendy, are living in the past. Mm-hmm. So many people are living in the past and they're holding on to how things used to be.
Yeah.
Don't you know, ladies and gentlemen, that people evolve?
Yes.
Don't you know that people over time change? Mm-hmm. Don't you know that people wake up? Some of us, because we may be on a slow pace, we think everybody else is on a slow pace. Mm-hmm. In the process of letting go, you will lose many things from the past, but you will find yourself. It will be a permanent self, rooted in awareness and creativity. Once you have captured this, you have captured the world. And that was Deepak Chopra. And one of the things that I found out about this was once you let go, you will find who you are. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we can't understand who we are, Henry, until we realize where we've been, and then we have to let it go. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, let me say this, a lot of times people, when I counsel people, I have gotten so many people that have said to me that they were molested when they were young. Mm-hmm. So many girls said their stepfathers, some of them said their dads actually molested them. I understand your situation, but the question is, that happened 30 years ago. Yeah. You got to let it go. There's no way that you can be able to experience the kind of love that God has for you that you are supposed to experience if you continue to hype on what happened 20, 30 years ago. Ma'am, it happened. I'm not taking it as it was a small account. Mm-hmm. But the question is, what are you going to do about it now? Mm-hmm. It's been 30 years. You've been treating me in all kinds of ways because of what happened to you. When are you going to realize and understand that the current gentleman is not the gentleman 30 years ago? That's right. You got to start letting it go. Mm-hmm. It is important that we must understand that in order to really live, and you have to remember, Andre, we're only here for a moment. Mm-hmm. Once the moment is up, once God knocks on the door, we must go. The question is, how are we going to live now? How are we going to live our everyday lives if we have that baggage of holding on to the past. One of the things, Trendy, we're about to talk about, let's talk about the relationship piece, because that's her favorite subject. But think about it. How many of us go into new relationships holding on to all of that coming in? Imagine you coming in the door with 25 pieces of luggage. Let's make it cute. 25 Louis Vuitton bags coming in the door with. Do you know that that's crowding up the space? Where are we going to put all that luggage? What happens when you open up luggage and you come back from a vacation, Andre, and you open up your luggage and you start pulling everything out? It becomes a mess. And this is what you have to think about when you join that relationship and you still carry on the issues from what your wife did, issues from what your husband did. You carrying on those relationships, and then you bring in all of this luggage, all of this baggage. Some of the baggage that you have rotten fruit in. Some of the baggage that you have, some of your items have broken from being on the train.
Some mildew.
So now you're coming in with all of this baggage into the relationship, and you're holding on to it and don't want to let it go. One of the things that you got to realize is that we have to give people a chance.
Yeah.
So first thing I want everybody to understand is you got to stop living in the past. The second thing is, once you let it go, you will find out who you are. You have to be able to remove all of that negativity, all of those toxins from your way. And then let me go ahead and let Linda get started about the relationship, because the next thing is, besides relationship, Trendy, is we got to remove those negative people. We got to let it go, those toxic relationships that we're carrying on right now.
That's true. I have a particular situation that's a little deeper than any of the relationships that I've experienced. But I have a cousin, and my cousin and I, we were close. We grew up together. We're probably 9 months apart. And my mother raised my cousin when she was about 4 until she was about 10. And I'm the older one, so I can be a little aggressive. I've always been the leader and the one that's challenging everyone. I've always been that way. So, she's the younger cousin. So I did some things as a bigger cousin that really hurt her feelings, that she didn't like, and things of that nature. But now, I'm 29 and she's 40. I said we're a couple of months apart. But anyhow, and she still has not gotten over the things that we did when we were children. It's so bad that one time I was over her house and her pastor came over. And her pastor, we just sat and talked and laughed and things like that. And she just busted in, "Pastor, you don't know her. She used to do this and she used to do that, and when we were children she did this and that and this and that." And I'm like, oh my God, we are 40 years old. You have to get some counseling. You should not be talking about what happened when we were 6 years old. So it's a situation where no matter what gathering, what function we're in at the same place, she goes straight back to what happened when we were children. And my thing is, sometimes we have been traumatized so bad, and clearly I love my cousin, but we cannot have a relationship. She has allowed this hurt and pain that I caused when I was a child to rob us of the relationship that we could have now, because we were like sisters. So for 30 years, we have not been close. We say 2 words to each other because every time she comes around me, there's negativity. She starts bringing up ugly stuff. So I'm like, I'm not going to hang around that kind of mess. That's crazy. But I realize she needs counseling. Some things are so deep that it's beyond just letting it go yourself. You have to go to a couch and you have to lay down and you have to pay someone to sit and listen to whatever happened and help you to unpeel these layers of hurt and pain that you have been walking around with for years. And it's just that simple. And it doesn't mean that you're crazy. It doesn't mean that any of those things. Some things have just traumatized you in such a way that you have not been able to let it go. So you have to really do whatever is necessary, though, because if you're still talking about things that happened 10, 20, 30 years ago, there's a problem. And really, you are cheating yourself of life and relationship with people that you could be having fun with.
And thank you for sharing that, Trinity. I also believe that during her counseling process that you need to be there also.
And I would gladly be there.
Yeah, you need to be there also, because one of the things that we find often is people, we really have no clue on how sensitive people are. And myself is another person like you, where I'm very boisterous and I'll say what I want to say and all of that. And lately, what I believe has been happening is I've been looking back in retrospect, because it's a situation where now we have to really monitor what we say to people and how we say things to people. We may think that it's out of love and joking and playing, but they may receive it somewhere different. This is why I say to people, stop texting so much. Because oftentimes the communication is destroyed, and I feel sorry for our kids that's doing so much texting that they're not able to socialize in society. They can't communicate properly because everything is on the text. And what happens is that when I'm reading the text, I am receiving it the way I want to receive it, but it may not be the way that it was given.
That's true.
So I had that conversation with Rashawn Broadnex in reference to him and Henri. You shouldn't go back and forth with a text, because Henri may be feeling one way, you may be feeling somewhere different. That's why you always supposed to pick up the telephone. I'm telling my listeners now, do not go back and forth with text messages, because you may be thinking, you may be coming from a more sincere direction, but they may be looking at it like you shady lady kind of situation. So I think that's important. But today, if you're just tuning in to the C. Allen Morning Show, we're talking about learning to let it go. How to let that anger, release the anger from us. How to get past the hurt that somebody has done to us, the physical abuse, mental abuse that we may have taken in the past, and we are still allowing that to run our lives, and we can't live a fulfilled life. We're doing the best we can, but we can't live a fulfilled life until we let it go. All right.
To me, letting go is like, like weightlifting. If you got these weights and it's 400, 500 pounds, and you steady trying to pull on them, eventually when it gets too heavy, you got to drop that. You got to, because the pain is just too much to bear. It's just too much to hold on to. And I think that a lot of times, people are holding on to them weights. Them weights are burdens that continue to hold you back, and it keeps you from progressing forward. I was just telling a friend of mine that, I want you to try this exercise. I want you to get up in the morning, and instead of getting out of bed like you normally get out of bed backwards. Like, turn around and try to walk backwards outside of your bed. And then when you go in the bathroom and you want to take a bath. Don't do it like you normally do. You know how you wash in your front and you start front, and no, try from the back, and then do everything backwards. Look in the mirror backwards. Go cook your breakfast backwards. And this friend told me I can't do that. So I asked her, well, why are you living backwards? Why are you living behind yourself? You can't do that. You can't continue to move backwards and then think you're gonna move forward. It's impossible. It's impossible to do. And get in your car and try to drive. Get in one of the seats and then look. Face backwards, and then try to drive with the steering wheel and see how far you're gonna get. This is something that we have to learn we got to learn how to let go, because when you let go, there's a certain strength, there's a certain release, a certain love that you can get for yourself when you do that.
Very good. All right, everyone, we're going to commercial break. If you want to call us and let us know how you were able to get past the situation, call me now, 1-800-450-7876, 1-800-450-7876. We'll be right back after these messages.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C. and WPRS HD2 Waldorf, Washington. A Radio 1 station and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
It's Thursday night and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck for Dave 2037 so he can buy anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman. What are you getting Steve 2037?
Steve 2037 will be just fine.
Well, okay, but don't expect to borrow my anti-gravity boots.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This is Morgan Freeman. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Doesn't always cause symptoms, but it can be prevented. Get screened.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
All right, everyone, we're back here live, the Sea Island Morning Show. Today we're talking about letting it go. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. We're talking about letting it go.
Good morning to you, Alan, and Sea Island, and good morning to Henry and all the who's trending there. This is Tyrone.
Good morning, Tyrone.
What's up, Tyrone?
I can't complain. Listen, when you have to let go, first of all, you have to take full responsibility for whatever it is that that has occurred. And sometimes it might not be your fault. But even if it's your fault or not your fault, you have to say to yourself, you know, this is something that's happened, and that's what I do. I just take full responsibility for it and say, well, you know, it happened. You know, this is the way it is. And I'll go to the person and sit down and make a statement to him or her, talk to him or her, and let him or her know how I feel about it. I first, you know, take full responsibility for it, apologize, and ask him or her, have you come to the grips where you can accept my apology? Mm-hmm. And rather than accept my apology or not, that's not on me. That's on that person once I have come to him or her and let him or her know that I do apologize. I do take full responsibility for what happened. At that point, I let go, because I feel after I've taken the responsibility, the maturity, shown the maturity to do this, then I feel that's the point where I have let go. I have said, you know, this is it. I've done my part. Now it is the other person's time to do his or her part.
And you know, you know what, Tyrone? That is one of the ways that you can be able to let things go, is by admitting your part, doing what you need to do, wash yourself clear of it. I'm in the same situation where my very best friend, you know, we don't speak. And but Tyrone, I did it over and over again, where I came to him and I apologized over and over again, and I apologized and I apologized and I apologized. And he said, well, you hurt me so bad with the things that you said that I'm not ready. I'm not in that place. I'm not in that place for forgiveness. Now that bothered me, Tyrone, but what it did was it also freed me. I was free
Sure.
because I apologized and I made amends with God and I apologized to myself. And then what else can you do? And so what we're talking about today on the Sea Island Morning Show is letting it go. And Tyrone just made a good point, listeners. And that is once you do your part, once you wash your hands from your situation, your hand in it, what you have done, then the next thing the only thing that you can do is move on.
You know what? The other thing is this. Scripture says if we have an ought with our brother, we are to take it to our brother.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That means our sister too.
Yes.
And if he or she accepts it, fine. If he or she does not, you still basically what he's saying is you've done your part and you move on. So that's where I get my basis from with that. And it's the same thing with my parents, and they're dead and gone now. But they did some things, and I went to them and told them before they left this world that I had forgiven them.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I had to sit down and think about that. And I said, well, my mother's on her deathbed now, and I have to go and make this clear this matter up.
Exactly.
And I did it with my mother, and I did it with my father. I opened the door to my sisters and brothers, and fortunately, my sisters, they're coming around. Mom and Dad did, and I am free. And as far as what I learned, what I got in church yesterday, our pastor talked about the Beatitudes. And this plays right into this type of thing we're talking about this morning. And, he said, basically one of the things, we talked about it in Matthew, where it says, if you talk about me, if a person persecutes you, great is your reward is in heaven. So with that, I want you all to have a very blessed.
All right. Thank you so much, Tyrone.
Thank you.
And you know what, Lindy, and this is something that kind of Tyrone said that kind of makes sense. 1 John 1:19, if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Right. Now, if we confess our sins to God and he's faithful to forgive us, who are you to still hold on when that person come and apologize to you sincerely? That's right. Why would you continue to hold on? And some people, I'm going to let you talk, Henri, but some people, they like being miserable. Some people like being in that state where the state of stillness, where nothing's going on, where nothing is happening. Some people enjoy being, unfortunately, some people enjoy being in the ruck and the mess that they're in.
Well, I'm gonna make a comment that I heard on the Oprah Winfrey show like years ago. Oprah was having like a similar style discussion, and she made a comment that her and this lady, they had some sort of problem between each other, and she was really upset. And she said that one day she happened to be out shopping, and she saw this same lady downtown Chicago, excuse me, with bags and bags of different shopping. She was just out shopping, and it was clear to her, Oprah said it was clear to her that this lady was not even thinking about her. That's right. So it's like, why am I holding on to something? See, one thing about holding on to things, you basically give somebody else control over your life.
Absolutely.
And this person has control even when they don't even care about the control. They're renting space in your mind. They're renting space in your heart. They're contaminating your life. And then guess what? They have moved on, and you are still stuck in what happened between you and that person. They have moved on. Yes. And it's like, I don't understand how we can hold on to things when we know that people don't even care. Because it's obvious that if somebody does something like that to you, and they obviously don't care. They've moved on. They're doing other things, just like in relationships. We were talking earlier about relationships. This person cheats on you. So guess what? The next man who comes along, who has absolutely no intentions of cheating on you, pays for the price for what the man before did. And see, the man before, he might feel like he can come back whenever he feel like it, Because guess what? You open the door. I mean, you reproduce these men. You recreate these men to be this one person who has violated you. You recreate that, and this person might not even have those intentions, but you keep accusing them and pushing them. You got to let stuff go, because when you hold on to things, you hurt yourself, and then not only do you hurt yourself, but you allow other people to control your life.
That is true. And we have to remember that, first of all, we are all human. There is no one who is perfect, and we all make mistakes. So when we sit up there and choose not to forgive someone, because it is a choice. It's not something that just happened to us and we have to accept it. We have the ability to say, okay, I was wronged in this area. That person did me wrong, but you know what? I'm going to go talk to them. I'm going to try to hash it out. If they accept me, good. If not, I have to move on. It's a choice to forgive a person or not. I'm not saying just because it's a choice that it's easy, because a lot of times it's not easy. You have certain ones of us have been betrayed. We have been, people we thought had our back. We found out they didn't. And we've been hurt. We've been vulnerable. A lot of us have opened ourselves up to other people, and to find out that things weren't the way we thought they were. So we have experienced some hurt. Some of our hearts have been broken. I mean, there are a lot of things that have gone on in our lives. But if we are going to continue to move on and be fulfilled and be happy individuals with joy, we have to learn to put the past where it belongs. And that's in the past. That's part of our history. It becomes a part of our story of the past. So those are things that we can grow from.
Trendy, hold on. Excuse me. I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to say something to you real fast.
Okay.
Another thing that I find that people do is that they say they let go, but yet, all right, I forgive you. It's over. Whatever happened, it happened. It's finished.
Yeah.
But then, as soon as you do something else, or as soon as you do something they don't like,
they bring that back up.
What about such and such when you did this before? If you have truly let something go, if you have truly left something behind, then that's where it needs to stay.
Now that's
it
good.
Don't need to keep resurfacing, because then you haven't forgiven anybody. You might as well just keep holding on. You still holding on to it.
That's true. So what they've done was they've forgiven with lip service. Their mouth said they forgave,
but their heart
is totally different. But one thing about the word, the Bible says that love covers a multitude of sins, and that's saying that no matter what sinful things have happened to us that we have found ourselves in, love can cover it to a point that you never remember it again. And even God says, when he talks about love in Corinthians, he says that love keeps no account of wrong.
That's right.
So,
it's not puffed up.
Yeah, it's not puffed up. It's not proud. It's not arrogant. It's not self-seeking. All of those things. See, when you have love in your heart, that is the one ingredient that will cause you to be able to forgive, to let go, and to just let it go.
That's right. Because if you continue to hold on to things and you say that you forgave somebody, but yet you're still giving them, lip service and reminding them every time,
and
you're not helping anything.
And holding on is believing that there's only a past. Letting go is knowing that there's a future. We got to take a commercial break here on the Sea Island Morning Show, but you need to stop holding on. With you holding on, you're holding on to the past. When you're letting it go, you're allowing yourself to prepare and to be in the to work towards the future.
Yes.
We're trying to help you today here on the Sea Island Morning Show. Some of you walking around, you bitter, you mean, you got an attitude, you upset, all of that. It's time to let it go.
You gotta
let it go. Ain't nobody thinking about you. You sitting there, you still holding on to stuff. Sit yourself down and let it go.
Teddy Pendergrass said it.
We'll be right back here on the Sea Island Morning Show.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Good morning. This WOL traffic update is brought to you by the UFC. Tickets on sale Friday, 295 northbound after East Capitol Street. It was a large pothole, the right side of the roadway, very heavy from Pennsylvania Avenue. Southbound BW Parkway inside the Beltway. Accident moved to the shoulder. Delays from the Beltway inbound Suitland Parkway. Construction today in the right lane after Alabama Avenue before Stanton Road. The UFC presents Jones versus Teixeira live Saturday, April 26th from the Baltimore Arena. Tickets are on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster.com. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by State Farm for today. Rain, maybe a little snow and sleet mixed in, ending this afternoon. Temperatures falling into the 30s. Cloudy, 27 overnight. Tomorrow cloudy, a high near 36. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. You'll find one right here. Contact your local State Farm agent today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
Honey, put this on top of the minivan.
We're only going for 2 weeks. You want me to pack the kitchen sink, too?
Well, is there room?
Hey, you guys, you going on vacation?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Because we're planning on robbing your house tonight.
All right, I'm calling an alarm service.
Wouldn't it be great if you could be warned of life's risks? If you have diabetes, you can. There's a simple blood test called A1C that can help measure your risk of complications from diabetes. Why is it important? Because more than 600 people every day die from diabetes and its complications. If your A1C is above 7, your doctor can show you how to lower it. If you have diabetes, know your risk. Know your A1C. Ask your doctor, or for more information, go to www.diabetesa1c.org or call 1-877-TEST-A1C. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association, Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation International, and the Ad Council.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Welcome back to the Sea Island Morning Show.
Oh yes.
Yes, it's such a beautiful morning, even though it's raining outside. I just want to say something, to the listeners
Why
out there.
you always got to act like you some teddy bear sitting somewhere in the corner somewhere?
Let it go, Sienna. Let it go.
I don't understand though. Why is he talking like that? First of all, sir, we're trying to enlighten the listeners, and you welcome back. What is it? You are not Teddy Pendergrass.
I think
you are not.
let
What's
it go.
the other guy? The big guy, Barry White. You are not Barry White, sir.
Welcome back, listeners.
Oh, you making my stomach hurt.
All right, everybody, listen. I just want to say something. First of all, I just want everybody in the studio and everybody out there who I'm associated with or I'm affiliated with, if I have done something, which I know I have,
You're always doing something.
I want y'all to forgive me, because I am human. I have feelings, and sometimes it's hard for me to let things go. So,
well, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Lindy, go ahead and interview him. Let's talk about that. Why is it? Talk to him, Lindy.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why it's hard for me to let things go sometimes. It's hard for me to let things go.
Wait a minute, back up. Wait a minute. Listeners, I asked Lindy to talk to him about why is it hard to let it go, and she whispered to me it's hard for her to let it go. So my God, I got to start counseling right here in the doggone studio.
Yes, you do. But
go ahead, Henry. At least you're transparent. Go ahead.
And not only am I transparent, but I'm letting go, because there has been a lot of things that I have been harboring, and the reasons why I've been harboring these things is because, I don't know. I guess I've been feeling some type of way about a lot of things, but I'm letting go, and the reason why I'm letting go is not because of the show topic today. It's something that I've been progressively trying to do anyway. I feel like I've been wronged in a lot of different situations, but now that I look back on those situations, a lot of them, was me. It was me because, and one thing C. Allen has done on a regular basis by me working for him, he has always addressed me when it's me. Hey, it's you. You need to tighten up. And now I'm to a point where, I really have to let go because I'm trying to be happy. Yeah. And one thing I can tell you is you don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. Yeah. And what I mean, there's no guarantee for it. There's nothing that's guaranteed. This next breath that I'm trying to get is not a guaranteed thing.
Mhm.
You know, people die every day. So
That's right.
while I have a chance, I want to say, I'm sorry, C. Allen. I'm sorry, Trendy. I'm sorry, anybody out there who I have offended or I have done wrong things to, because at the end of the day, you know, that's not who I am. That's not my character. But, you know, life is like a painting, because a lot of times when you're painting, you know, you make wrong lines. But it's not about the wrong lines. It's about the complete picture, how it turns out in the end. And see, when it's all said and done and somebody looks at my portrait, I want them to see all those imperfections, but see how perfect God was able to bring them together to be, you know, make me what it is that he wants me to be. So I'm not holding on to anything, you know, and I've made that decision already, you know, just even in my personal life, me wanting to spend time with my daughter and stuff. You know, I'm not going to hold on to harboring any type of ill feelings towards anybody. So anybody out there who's listening, if you're associated with me, I apologize if I've done something wrong, but I also want you to let go. I want you to come to a point where, you know, we all can progress together, because, you know, one thing about it, we don't do anything on our own, and there's nothing that we can do on our own at all. God has designed us all so that we can be, you know, interaction with each other so that we can move ahead together. I mean, it's nothing that you can do on your own. So with that being said, you know, I just want to continue to progress with the people that God has blessed me to have in my life. So there you have it. You know, Andre has let it go.
All right, everybody. Joseph Campbell says we must be willing to let go of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. A lot of times we have stuck in our mind how we are going to live, what is going to happen, and all of that. And many times you got to be able to even let go the things that you have planned, so you can be able to allow God to do what the perfect will for you is. A lot of times we try to create the perfect atmosphere of how we want things to be, but in reality, we still have to see God to figure out, well, what is it that he wants us to be, you know? Catherine Schultz says, we need to learn to love the flawed, imperfect things that we create, and to forgive ourselves for creating them. Regret doesn't remind us that we did badly. It reminds us that we know we can do better. And I think that's important. I think that part of that, Linda, is evaluating ourselves. I want you to talk to me, Linda. Tell me why you feel like it's hard for you to let stuff go.
Well, actually, I have to take that back, because it's not hard for me to forgive or to let go. It's hard for me to continue to have relationship with the person who wronged me. Now, I can forgive them because this is the way I test myself. If I'm able to give that person a sandwich or a glass of water when they're thirsty, a sandwich when they're hungry, I've forgiven them. I love them enough to take care of their current need. Then I'm not harboring, you know, unforgiveness. But my problem is sometimes with boundaries. I struggle with allowing the person a certain amount of space and time with me. So I struggle with learning how to have the boundaries, because just because you forgive a person doesn't mean that you allow them the same opportunities that they once had, because the saying goes, the first time, shame on you. The second time, shame on me.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So now, but why do you have to struggle with boundaries? Why can't to me, everybody has a place.
Yes.
And everybody has a season, everybody has a time. A good example was my best friend that I talked about, that I picked him up and we went there, you know, and we haven't really talked in a long time, you know, off and on or what have you. Because I have forgiven him, I know how to put him in the category to, let's get together because we need to go this place, like we did on Saturday. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go back to calling him every day on the phone.
Well, suppose he goes back to calling you every day on the phone.
Then what you do is that there's a certain place, Linda, there's a certain place, and there is a certain restrictions and guidelines. And oftentimes people will pick it up. You don't have to say certain things for people to understand.
Okay.
A lot of times, subliminal messages are just as strong as if you open up your mouth and say something.
Like when you don't answer the phone?
Hello. Which you are really good at, not answering the phone.
But that's across the board. That really, it's not subliminal.
But what I'm saying, Linda, is that it comes trendy.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that when we talk about boundaries, and I agree with you, once you make up with people, Alonzo, they want to go right back to that where we left off, period. And no, but what has to happen is communication has to come in to say, you know what, I've forgiven you, I love you, I want to always, be your friend. But what's going to happen is that, but I don't believe that we should start where we left off. I think that during that time that we wasn't speaking, growth and maturity has entered into the building, and now I have to learn how to do certain things all over again when it comes to our relationship. Let's take baby steps. So instead of us getting ready to start playing on the movies and all this stuff, let's take baby steps. Baby steps mean, why don't we just plan something once a month and go out once a month instead of you calling me every day? But it's about communication.
But I must say, C. Allen, you are awesome with that. You have really shown me when it comes to disagreements, things like that, you will call a person into the office quick. You will throw the person under the bus who told you, but but you are going to get to the bottom of it.
Alonzo, you hear that?
The thing is, though,
that came from Bishop Alfred Owens from Greater Mount Calvary, because he wouldn't let it go. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you're going to get to the bottom of it, and by the time everyone leave that office, everybody's going to know where everyone stands. It ain't going to be no confusion, and that is one of the things that keeps people in relationship, in healthy relationships, communication, and you're awesome with that. Not just on the radio, you really live that communication thing.
And thank you for that, but because I realized that so many problems happen, so many things get started when people do not communicate, because we start to believe our mind, and we start to believe what we think is going on, and we start to believe what we heard, and we do not communicate. And I see that in businesses, I see it in salons, I see it in relationships, I see it in friendships, because it's hard. So we don't want to open up our mouths, but we have to see it's easy to take the road where she ain't saying nothing to me, so I ain't going to say nothing to her. But that's not what you do. You got to pick up the phone, because again, and let them go ahead and say those hurtful things, get past it, and keep it moving. But a lot of time, when I do bring people to the office, and I realize that it happens over and over again, and that is that most of it has to do with non-communication, because you didn't speak up, you didn't say anything, you allowed certain things to happen, and it festered into major things. You have to speak on it. That's what I told Henri last week at the salon. You do not allow things to go on and go on and on. You must say something on contact. Anyone who knows me, when I hear it, I'm bringing you together so we can figure out what in the world is going on, because I have seen people, I've been teaching at the jail over 15 years, and most of the people there, because of a miscommunication, they thought they heard, they thought somebody said, they reacted to something without communicating to get to the bottom of it, and then once they realize that they made a mistake, it's too late. They in handcuffs. So we're talking to you today, our listeners who have not let things go. You're upset with your coworker. You're not talking to family members. You divorced your husband, haven't spoken to him in years, but y'all still have children. What you have to understand is, in order to live a healthy life, full of abundant living, you have to be able to free yourself from all of the foolishness, all of the trash, all of the junk that's holding you back. You will feel so much better once you let it go.
See, Alan, how do they let it go?
It's commercial time now. All right.
How do they let it go?
How you let it go? You let it go.
Let it go.
All right, everybody. This is C. Allen in the morning. Trendy, Lindy, Henri. We'll be right back after these messages.
News updates on the web at WOLDCnews.com.
Good morning, I'm Wes Lee, and now here's the news from News1.com, brought to you in part by Food Lion. Use your MVP card to enter Food Lion's Ultimate Tailgate Sweepstakes, and you could win a brand new 2014 GMC Sierra truck. A bill to extend to 24 hours the time period a person suffering mental health issues can be kept in emergency custody is advancing in the Virginia legislature.
The Senate Education and Health Committee has approved a measure which would replace the current 6-hour limit. State Senator Cree Deeds, who was in the room as the vote was taken, was stabbed and severely wounded by his son last November, one day after the young man underwent a mental health evaluation but was released because a psychiatric bed could not be found quickly enough. Gus Deeds shot himself to death after stabbing his father. I'm Tom Roberts.
Environmentalists say the D.C. area's drinking water could be affected if the fracking method to drill natural gas is allowed in the George Washington National Forest. Fears are that drinking water for more than 4 million people in the region could be adversely affected. A man convicted of shooting at Prince George's County police officers is going to prison for 40 years.
Because we had that uniform on, because somebody was upset that they were asked to leave a club, they decided to take that anger out on us.
That's police officer Rachel Jacob reacting after Kelly Gillis was sentenced to a 55-year term with 15 years suspended for firing at 3 officers in a Langley Park nightclub parking lot in July of 2012. In sports, the Cavaliers' Malcolm Brogdon hit a three-pointer as time expired. Virginia upset 18th-ranked Pittsburgh 48-45. This WL newscast is brought to you in part by State Farm. Call 1-800-STATE-FARM or go to statefarm.com. Everyone's looking for an encouraging sign in today's economy. The fact is, you'll find one right here. Contact your local State Farm agent today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. When you're looking for news for Black America, go to news1.com. I'm Wes Lee for 1450 WOL, where information is power.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
Oh, yes. All right, everyone, we're back here. We're live. We're down to the last half an hour of the show. I think that it's important. Andre asked a question before we went to break, and he asked the question, how do you let go? First of all, how do you let go? The first thing that you have to do is you have to come to terms with yourself. You have to identify, listen to me, everybody, you have to identify where did things go wrong. Let me give you a good example. I have allowed a friend of mine to take advantage of me over the years. And it got to a point where I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I exploded. And by me exploding, I said a lot of hurtful things because it had built up, Andre, for so long. It so happened that it was my best friend, and we all not, like Linda said, we're not perfect. And there were things that he had done over the years continuously. It wasn't nothing hurtful or harmful. It was just that it was just being taken me for granted, basically. So we went to Dominican Republic, and when we came back, I just went off. And we haven't spoken since, and that's been at least 4 years. And when I say that this is, I still say my very best friend in the whole wide world. We did everything together. Of course, later on, I apologized over and over and over again. And he said, okay, but the things that you said really hurt me really bad. So let me tell you what I had to do. What I had to do was I had to first sit back and analyze the whole situation. It goes back to what Linda just said about me bringing everybody to the office and all of that. That was a process. That has always, that it wasn't like that has always been the case. We mature and we grow. One of the things that I realized was if I would have communicated back then when he was doing the things that he was doing, we wouldn't have had a blown out situation. And let me tell y'all listeners, listen to me real good, because this is one of the biggest problems. The biggest problems that we have is we allow people to cross the line in our lives, whether they're family member or friends, and it bothers us and we don't say nothing.
That's true.
And what we do is it begins to build up and build up and build up. And the next thing you know, we say we blow up or we get a severe attitude. And the person will say, well, why are you acting like this? And why are you treating me like this? Because number one, they're not in your head. They have no clue that you have been harboring the things that they have said and has done to you for years, and you have not done anything about it. It's not their fault.
That's true.
That you had allowed them to take advantage of you and do things to you or against you or what have you, and you did nothing about it. That's not your fault. So the first thing, Andre and listeners, when we talk about letting it go, the first thing I had to do was I had to analyze myself. What did I do wrong? A lot of times, everybody, when we get upset with people, we only think about what they did to us. We don't think about what we did to them. And I thought about it, and I said, I have been a perfect friend, and for maybe 10 years, so why would this happen? It's happened because you allowed it to happen and you didn't communicate. When people ask to ride to the store, and they keep asking repeatedly, and they don't give you any gas, I don't care how close they are to you. You have to say, this is what you do. What you do is you stop answering the phone. You stop taking them. You make excuses instead of saying, yo, bro, listen. I take you to the grocery store every week for groceries. Every now and then it would be nice to offer a little gas money because gas is high. There's nothing wrong with that, but we don't say that. Well, we get upset and we say, I don't know who she thinks she is, trying to use me to go to the grocery store. I don't even have to go to the grocery store. I'm not answering the phone. That's what we do, and animosity starts to build up.
That's true.
Because we don't express ourselves.
Why don't we, though, in that situation?
I'm going to tell you why. We don't express ourselves because, one, a lot of us, we don't like confrontation.
That's right.
So we don't like to offend people. And because we love the person, we don't want to say certain things. But another good example. We go to our mother's house and we eat up everything in the house. Have we thought that her and Roberta, the people that live there, want to have lunch the next day? Want to sneak downstairs at night and eat some more food? Why would you come to the matriarch house? Why would you come to your grandmother's house or your mother's house and eat everything up in the house and then take a couple of sodas and bottles of waters with you? It happens because it's allowed to happen. My mother would not want to say, all right, everybody, you know me and Roberta got to eat this week. They don't want to say stuff like that because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. But when reality sets in is that we take advantage most of the times of the people closest to us.
That's true.
So you got to open up your mouth and say certain things. So for me, when people come to my house, certain things I will already put in the oven and keep away anyway. So you don't have to worry about me saying, don't eat this and don't eat that. I put out what I want you to have. To avoid me saying, Leatrice Christine Bennett, stop making those 5 plates. Did I just call her out like that?
Yes, you did.
Did I give her whole full government name?
Front and back.
So basically, what I think that is important is it's important for us to communicate. So when you say how do, and I think you want to say something? Okay. When you say how do we let it go, the first thing is we got to be true to ourselves. We got to figure out where did we went wrong or where are we going wrong. And then the next thing that we have to do is we have to identify those things that are bothering us, and then we must communicate it to the person.
Well, see, I'm going to say, see, Alan.
You got to communicate, Henry. You have to.
But one thing, you're 100% correct. But one thing about communication, I've come to find out that it's not universal. I mean, when you're dealing with people and you're trying to communicate with them, there's a certain way that you have to communicate with everybody, and it's not the same with everybody. In other words, what I'm saying is, all right, the way me and you communicate, it may be, we can understand each other as far as our communication is concerned. Somebody else might look at how we communicate and say, I don't see how they can talk like that with each other. You understand what I'm saying?
No, say it again.
What I'm saying, I guess we got miscommunication right now.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it's not easy to communicate with everyone. And sometimes when you try to, you try to say something to people, it's always taken wrong. But other people, they can take it and go with it. It's certain people it's easier to communicate with than
Well,
with
you know
others.
what? And you know what I think is good? They go Linda again sitting on my lap.
All right.
But you know what I think is good? What I think is good is there are different kinds of ways to communicate.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean,
because what happens is
different.
that some people, like I had an issue with my sister,
Mm-hmm.
and C. Allen do not mind talking, but because of her being oversensitive, I put it in a letter. I sent her an email. And once she got the email, she called me, and then we could discuss it.
Right.
But if you know that once you start talking to certain people, they're going to holler and scream, get mad, start crying, cussing, all that kind of stuff, you got to handle people in different ways. Right. Some people, when you communicate, because they may be a violent person or they may be so full of anger, you have to communicate with them along with someone else, someone that can be a mediator.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because a lot of people, and you're right, when I handled a situation last week, the guy just extremely got upset. I was mediating, and a guy just extremely got upset when he started squinching his eyes and hollering and screaming, and I explained to him that right there is a form of assault. You squinching your eyes because you're trying to intimidate the next person to change their way of thinking. We can't change how people think, how people feel, but the important thing is you have to open up your mouth and you have to say something. Mm-hmm. The problem that we have in our lives, Henry, when we don't open up our mouths and we start harboring it, that's where the confusion starts, and that's where we mess up. That's where we mess up. Where we mess up is, I look at Brittany for an example. She messed up because she went to the salon and started telling everything. Instead of coming back to us and saying, I really like being here. I really don't want to go to the salon. Is there something else that I can do? Can we come up with another way for me to keep my job? All that kind of stuff. But then because we do it the wrong way, and that's why I say to both of you, I say to anybody that's close to me, you got to do it the right way, because when you do it the wrong way, I have a 3-strike policy. After the 3rd strike, it's a done deal. Because at the end of the day, what has to happen is we have to communicate, because if we do not communicate, then it's going to turn into something major. So we got to go to break. But before we go to break, Henri asked the question, how do we let go? My very first thing is you got to look at yourself. Find out what you did wrong. The second thing is you got to communicate to that person, and there's many forms of communication. You may want to send a card in the mail. You may not want to talk because it's uncomfortable. A lot of things, Ray and Lindy, we get uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. So we don't do certain things because we're uncomfortable. We don't know how to approach certain people who affected us, who bothered us. So what we do is we cut them off. We cut them off. We leave them alone. You say, well, why in the world? I ain't talked to so-and-so in a long time, and you have no clue that she is angry and upset about something. It amazes me how I run into people, and they say, you hurt my feelings when you did so-and-so and such and such, and I had no clue. Well, ma'am, you knew I was just joking and playing, but then I have to realize, and my sister Roberta tells me all the time, you can't joke and play with everybody. Mm-mm. Everybody's not a jokey, playful person. That's why we said during a commercial break, Henri, that you got to sit back. Anytime you go into a new environment, you have to sit back and you got to peep everybody first.
That's right.
When you go into a new environment, and you just start jumping into conversations and stuff and not knowing people's personality, that's where the confusion starts. We're hoping that we're helping someone, everybody. Today we're talking about letting it go. On the Seattle Morning Show, we got to take a break, and when we come back, it's going to be our final segment. But we want you to email us, let us know how the show helped you today. This is 1450 AM WOL. Information is power. We'll be right back after these messages.
1450 WOL.
Good morning. This WOL Traffic Update is brought to you by Food Lion, 295 northbound. As you make your way toward Benning Road, it was the pothole in the left lane. Very slow. It's caused damage to several vehicles. So heads up northbound on 295. Heading up toward Benning Road, you definitely want to stay over to the right to avoid that. Use your MVP card to enter Food Lion's Ultimate Tailgate Sweepstakes, and you could win a brand new 2014 GMC Sierra truck. Now your WOL weather forecast brought to you by CQ. For today, rain, a little snow, and sleet mixed in, ending this afternoon. Temperatures falling into the 30s. Cloudy overnight down to 27. Tomorrow cloudy, high near 36. Make the easy switch to CQ. Get the tools you need like free debit cards. Ditch your bank, switch to CQ. Visit SECUMD.org. CQ, different direction. Steve Hirschhorn for News Talk 1450 WOL, where information is power.
If there was an emergency, would your family have enough water and non-perishable food to last 3 days? We asked families across the country. Here are some of their answers.
Well, we depend mostly on our meats, on our refrigerator, on, cooking that way, so most of our foods are in the refrigerator. Once the electricity goes out, your refrigerator goes out, so you can only use that for a certain amount of time.
We usually eat fresh food daily.
In the pantry, you have like granola bars and canned tomatoes,
True. That's true, but that's really not survival food. Tomato paste.
The brand of dog food that I do purchase for the dogs, as well as the cats, are edible by humans. We could even share the same bowls.
I want my own bowl.
You got your own bowl.
Is your plan any better? To learn more about making an emergency plan for your family, go to ready.gov. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the Ad Council.
News Talk 1450 WOL AM, where information is power.
All right, everyone, we're back here. Our final segment. We're just super duper excited. I didn't get a chance to share it with you, but we are just super excited to be in your homes, to be in your cars, to be listening to you. I was out this weekend and ran into some listeners. They heard my voice and they said, "Oh my God, you got to be C. Allen. I know that voice. I listen to you every Monday." I appreciate stuff like that. You don't have to. I understand that talk radio is something to where if I'm in my car, I'll listen, but if I'm not going to go out my way. But some of you are sitting at your government desk. Some of you are sitting right at work. Some of you are listening, to us, from your radio, are y'all listening to me? Or are y'all looking at the computer?
I'm definitely listening.
Let me turn off. Let me turn this off. Let me just turn this off. Now just cut the computer off. But I just want to thank all of our listeners. No, because I'm talking, Alonzo, and I just hit Facebook, and they just immediately went to the pictures on Facebook as if I wasn't talking.
We're listening.
I'm looking for some more hosts on the Seattle Morning Show. Please email me TheCalan Morning Show at gmail.com.
But sir, there's no more room in this booth.
It's only
because we're going to remove the both of you.
We're going to let go of you.
Let it go. All right, everybody. So listen, really quickly, we're going to end this. This is what's happening. What's happening is that number one, you got to look at yourself. Mm-hmm. Number two, you got to you got to communicate with the person. 3, wait a minute, this is good. What you have to do, and this isn't anything written down. I know this, faithful. Mm-hmm. The third thing is you also have to accept the fact that they may not be ready to let it go. Mm-hmm. When you communicate to people. I got angry at my best friend because he didn't want to let it go. But I had to realize that I was in a different place than he was. So what happens is that what you have to do is you have to be ready to accept the fact that the person that you loved and adore still do not want to be with you. Part of the problem, Andre, is that A lot of us, we don't like to be rejected.
Yeah.
And that hurts. So we would prefer to avoid conversation in order to avoid rejection. What we have to remember and realize is that all of us are flawed. What we have to remember and realize is that as long as you get to a place where you begin to love yourself, part of the other issue, the fourth thing is when we start learning to love ourselves, then we're able to accept and love the people around us. But that's not going to happen until we start to love ourselves. We got to love ourselves more. Yeah. Henri, are you listening to me?
Yes, sir, I am.
Loving ourselves more is not just saying that we love us.
That's true.
We got to show it to us. We got to take time out and do things like pamper ourselves. That's our slogan. We got to mean what we say. Yeah. At the end of the show, every Monday, 52 Mondays out the year, we say, pamper yourself is your duty. Why? Because you are worth it. Many of you listening to us do not believe that you're worth it. Yeah. We eat things we don't have no business eating. Mm-hmm. We know that those things aren't good for us. We know certain things are going to get us sluggish. We know that the grease, all of those things are not good for us. But because we want to instantly feel good, we do those things. But then we have to think about it. Are we instantly feeling good, or are we trying to fill a void? And then we have to ask ourselves, what is the void that we're trying to fill when we eat stuff we don't have no business eating, and we're doing stuff we don't have no business doing? I look every day. I grew up loving honey buns. Every time I go into the corner store to get something, you know, I live in the city, so in the city, everybody got a corner store. Maylene, Papa, all of them, you know, all the names we call them. And Mama Song, you know. Go into the corner store, and the first thing I see is that honey bun. And every single time I look at it, but I do not purchase it because it's not good for me. But I remember growing up every day coming home, getting a honey bun, some salt and vinegar potato chips, and a Mr. Good bar. And maybe that's why I'm a diabetic today. But I can remember those things. But now, when I was a child, what did the Bible say, Linda?
You did
childish things. But then when I became a man,
you put all that away.
You put away those childish things. So what I'm saying to everybody, in order to let things go, it has to start with you. Do you know what we like to do, Lindy, when we say let things go? We like to go to the person and start talking about what they did, like your cousin.
Yeah.
But never realize that, was you hurting? Were you angry that she may have had a mother and a father and you did? Was you angry that she had gifts under the tree and you didn't? Were you just doing stuff because she had long hair and you didn't? The person will never know until they come to the realization. But everybody, we must understand that what we holding on 10, 20, 30 years ago, and some of us are holding on stuff 2 and 3 years. I come across so many people. And I asked them, how's so-and-so doing? And they say to me, oh, we don't talk no more. Mm-hmm. Oh, we don't talk no more. Oh, I haven't talked to her in a long time. Oh, we had it out. Oh, let me tell you about what she did. All that kind of stuff. What I'm telling everybody is today is the day. February the 3rd, to let it go. I want you to listen to me. There's no cut cards here. It was brought up in my spirit to have this show today because I come across too many people, or I came across too many people that will not let it go, that they so full of anger. I had a student on Saturday, a pretty girl, just mad at the world. For what, baby? What are you holding on to? There's so many dysfunctional, broken people that are out here. And they're living day by day vicariously, and they're not even understanding that they're missing so many wonderful things in life. You know what I said, Lindy, while Henri texting during the show? You know what I said, Lindy?
What you said?
I said, for 2014, instead of me keep running to Paris and London and all that, I said, I'm going to enjoy the United States. I've never been to St. Louis. I've only been to Chicago twice. I haven't been to the West Coast in quite some time. I haven't been to L.A., San Francisco, Oakland. I haven't been there in years. I said, I can remember driving a convertible rental with the top down, looking at Venice Beach and the ocean and all of that. I said, this is the year I'm going to go back to California. This is the year I'm going to do so and so. This year I'm going to do such and such. And I said, because at the end of the day, everybody, we got to be able to let it go. Mm-hmm. We can't live life abundantly if we don't let it go.
That's true. That is so true. And we have to realize that people come in our lives for all types of situations. Some people are in our lives for a reason. Mm-hmm. Some come in our lives for a season.
All right,
and then there are others that's there for a lifetime. So we have to analyze, who this person is, why they're in our lives, and if they're supposed to be there or not. And then if they're not, we have to choose to let them go. But it's not an easy thing to do, but it's very necessary if we're going to have an abundant life.
Absolutely.
And also, to comment on what you said earlier, C. Allen, sometimes it's necessary to let people go. Mm-hmm. Not just to let things go, but to let people go. Because some people are too toxic to keep around. And it's not necessarily that they are a toxic person, so to speak. They just may not mix good with you.
Yeah, and they may not supposed to be with you.
Right. So it is good to let people go sometime. But the thing is, I never let the experience go, because through the experience, I get more wisdom. It teaches me a little bit better about how to be a better me. Mm-hmm. Everything that God puts in my life, He puts it there for a purpose. Mm-hmm. And I take something from it, because the truth of the matter is, it's like doing a pop quiz. Eventually you're going to get tested on what you know. Mm-hmm. And if you fail the test, then you'll have to retake it. And I try not to retake too many tests with God, because, that's one of my major problems, is, not really getting everything I'm supposed to get from a lesson. Mm-hmm. So I've gathered what I'm supposed to learn from a lot of the lessons in my life, and I continue to try to evolve and let things go. Mm-hmm. I do.
All right, that's very good. All right, listen, this is what I want you to do for me. We have to know, we got to get some feedback. If you enjoyed the show today, we want you to email us at thecalan morningshow@gmail.com. Let us hear your thoughts. Let us hear your comments. Also, we're about to start off a lot of new things, so it's really kind of important, listeners, that you try to work on getting a computer or getting internet access through your telephone. I know my seniors, this is something maybe ancient, but we want you to do that, because on Ray, we're going to start doing a lecture series. We're going to start doing a lot of videos, a lot of things that you can get to, a lot of more interactive things. Also, we're going to start texting you to let you know when to call in for different things. So it's kind of important that you kind of get up to date with what's going on. Now, two things before we go. The first thing is, just remember, this coming Friday, the tickets go on sale, so you want to be able to come to the Bennett Career Institute or call us at the 202-526-1400 to get your tickets. For those who haven't missed the number for Rashida, it's 301-792-5697. Rashida Franklin, 301-792-5697. All right, everybody, remember, pamper yourself. It's your duty. Why?
Because you are worth it.
Have a good week, everyone.
1450 WOL.
Who's my favorite color? What's yours? What's yours? Red is my favorite color. What's yours? What's yours?
Well, yeller's sweller for this little feller.
And me, I'm keen on green. So what's your favorite color? Tell us, please.
Kids will spend 20 minutes listening to songs like this.
What's your favorite color? Tell us, please. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite?
How about 2 minutes to brush their teeth? Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives and the Ad Council.
Hey, Nick Cannon here. So we all know we've got a lot of talent in America. But unfortunately, there's something else we've got way too much of. Childhood hunger. 17 million kids struggle with it in this country. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gather surplus food to give hope to hungry kids and their families. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This is Morgan Freeman. Colorectal cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men and women over 50. Doesn't always cause symptoms, but it can be prevented. Get screened.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
1450 WOL, Washington, D.C., and WPRS HD2, Waldorf, Washington, a Radio 1 station, and worldwide at WOLDCnews.com.
The views and opinions of the following show do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of News Talk 1450 WOL, Radio 1 Incorporated, or their management.
The following is a paid advertisement by Purity Products. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases.
Hello and welcome once again to Healthline by Purity Products. I'm your host, Pat Campbell. We have got a fascinating show for you today, so don't go anywhere, especially if you're interested in keeping your brain function sharp and your energy level high. Dr. Pressman is here to introduce not one, but two of the hottest new evidence-based ingredients to hit the market in quite some time. We're talking about things like memory, mood, attention, even coping with stress. And maybe even more compelling are the clinically tested benefits for boosting physical performance, increasing endurance, vitality, and even promoting muscle strength. And believe it or not, a new study even shows that it can enhance libido. So don't even dream about changing that dial. Dr. Pressman is here. Now, Dr. Alan Pressman is no stranger to radio listeners. For 5 decades, you've heard him talking about health and nutrition on his own radio program in New York. He holds a PhD in clinical nutrition. He's an educator, a lecturer, an author, a former college professor of nutrition. He's a longtime advisor to Purity Products, one of the largest direct-to-consumer providers of dietary supplements in North America. With all of that said, Dr. Pressman, welcome.
Pat, great to be with you.
Now, Dr. Pressman, I want to get right into this chart you guys sent me on this CeraBoost ingredient Purity gets from Europe. Basically, I'm looking at a chart which visually illustrates the short-term impact of this CeraBoost on working memory. And the arrow is basically pointing straight up. It looks pretty amazing what this stuff can do. So tell us about CeraBoost and why it inspired the launch of Plan 200, this hot new supplement that you've co-developed with Purity Products.
Well, you know, there is an enormous amount of interest these days in brain function, Pat, and we're really excited about this. CeraBoost is a formula of American ginseng, and it's been shown in numerous studies to have what we call cognitive enhancing properties, meaning it improves your memory. In fact, a new study from the Brain Science Institute at the Swinburne University in Melbourne, Australia, shows that CeraBoost can do 4 major things, 5 major things really. Improved memory, your working memory, meaning your long-term and short-term memory. It normalizes your reaction time. It increases calmness. It induces calmness in people. It literally improves your mood. And on top of that, it improves your attention span. So researchers call CeraBoost, in quotes now, a robust working memory enhancement formula. And it does it in a number of very interesting ways. Now, what we did, and I think this was very smart, we combined CeraBoost with an adaptogenic food called KSM-200 to create a nutrient that affects both the brain and the body at the same time. It's really a one-of-a-kind combination, a dynamic duo, if you will, of nutrients that can create optimal brain energy and function, can enhance your memory, your concentration, and your focus, can improve your mood at the same time, and on top of that, create physical energy, improve your stamina, eliminate fatigue, allow you to cope and deal with the stress of your life, reduce anxiety, and improve your sex drive. You know, basically, Plan 200 improves and makes your brain and body work together and work better. Now, that's what I call a great plan.
Now, Dr. Pressman, at the core of Plan 200, you've got 2 fascinating ingredients. CeraBoost, the clinically validated brain booster, which you just described, and something called KSM-66, a different kind of extract that took over 10 years to develop. Now, before we get back to the CeraBoost,
I want to spotlight this KSM-66 because it really sounds, well, almost too good to be true. Tell me about it.
Well, that's what some of our team said. You know, KSM-66 belongs to a class of herbs called adaptogen. KSM-66 is a botanical extract. It's the best adaptogen ever. In fact, it's being called the royal herb because of its ability to rejuvenate the body, but also on top of that, it has a very powerful positive effect on your neurological system, on your immune system, your energy production, your endocrine system, your glands, and your reproductive system. In fact, one of my students called them the Thrive Five because, as I put it, when they thrive, you thrive. They reset your energy, reset your stamina, and also on top of that, Pat, KSM-66, this herb, has major health-related properties, including being a powerful antioxidant, therefore very cardioprotective. And the research shows that it has a tremendous ability to reduce stress, who doesn't want that, reduce anxiety, support your glandular function, support immunity, helps your body manage inflammation, it protects your nerves, and it even enhances your ability to understand, what we call enhances your ability to have enhanced cognition. It's really quite an amazing botanical. It's a complex blend, by the way, Pat, of plant-based substances. These are called phytochemicals that have a really wide range of wonderful actions in the human body. In fact, there was a study that showed that it extended lifespan in some studies. So if you put all of that together, this adaptogenic nutrient helps you deal with the stress of your life. I'll take some of that. Gives you cognitive support, gives you cardiac support, supports your entire body. In fact, there was a great report on joint function. It's great for your sexual health. One last thing on this, because I get all excited about this.
Sure.
The research, there were 6 new studies, and a lot of the studies were supervised by faculty members at UCLA. They found that this KSM-66 literally can reduce stress and anxiety and improve your general well-being, enhances male sexual function, improves what we call cardiorespiratory endurance in athletes and sports athletes, improves muscle strength. Pretty darn dramatic, I'd say.
Now, Dr. Pressman, I'm looking at the list of the studies on this KSM-66. I mean, wow. Improving physical endurance, increasing muscle strength, relieving stress, fighting fatigue, enhancing libido, and there's more. But here's the thing. In the literature you sent me, it says a lot about energy and vitality. In fact, the word rejuvenate seems to pop up just about everywhere. Now, talk for a moment why you think KSM-66 is absolutely indispensable for anybody looking to replenish their energy levels, their sense of vibrance and well-being without, and this is so important, without that stimulant effect, without the jitters. So this is amazing. Explain it to me.
Well, Pat, that's why it's called an adaptogen. This KM66, it doesn't stimulate you. It doesn't sedate you. The key word here, Pat, is it balances you. So if you are too high, let's say you've got a lot of irritability or anxiety, it brings you down to normal. If you're too low, if you're tired and you have poor stamina and you're just fatigued, it brings you up to normal. So it allows for the ability